Hello, ESL students studying Crossroads Cafe. Today we're going to summarize, and that means shorten, remember, and tell you the story of Unit 19, Episode 19 of Crossroads Cafe, The People's Choice. Mr. Brashoff is unhappy. There is construction in front of Crossroads Cafe, and it's keeping customers away. Mr. Brashoff calls the city office to complain, but he can't find anyone to speak to. A young Middle Eastern man enters the restaurant. He tells Mr. Brashoff, "People are putting pieces of wood on the street in front of your cafe." Mr. Brashoff doesn't know the man, but he looks familiar. Jamal enters. He asks, "Has anyone seen my cousin?" The young Middle Eastern man enters the cafe again. He's Jamal's cousin, Hassan. Jamal introduces him to everyone. Hassan likes Rosa very much. Hassan is in the United States to learn English. He wants to become a tour guide in Egypt. Later that morning, Jess comes to the cafe. He shows his water bill to Mr. Brashoff. Jess's bill for 1 month of water is $30,000. Jess calls the city to complain, but nobody helps him. Both Jess and Mr. Brashoff are unhappy with the city. Mr. Brashoff tells Jess to run for city council. Later at home, Jess talks to his wife Carol about Mr. Brashoff's idea. Carol thinks it's a good idea too. She says to Jess, "You could be the people's choice." Jess decides to run for city council. Crossroads Cafe becomes his campaign headquarters. There are posters and flyers in the cafe for Jess Washington, the people's choice. But nobody knows Jess, and his name is not mentioned in the newspaper polls. Mr. Brashoff has an idea. He wants Jess to make speeches at Crossroads Cafe while people are eating. Only one customer is interested in Jess's speech. His name is Dan Miller. Dan Miller tells his boss, Mr. Comstock, about Jess. Andrew Comstock is a businessman. He wants to help elect someone to city council. If Andrew Comstock helps Jess, Jess will help him. Dan brings Mr. Comstock to the cafe to see Jess. Dan Miller and Mr. Comstock have a lot of ideas to help Jess. They change his looks and they give him ideas for speeches. One day, Jess is sitting at a table in the Crossroads Cafe and nobody recognizes him. Jess is wearing a toupee. Carol is not happy with the new Jess. She will not vote for him. She doesn't like Mr. Comstock either. He thinks more about money than people. Jess is giving another speech at Crossroads Cafe. When Jess sees Carol, he changes his speech. He takes off his toupee. He is the old Jess. And Mr. Comstock is very angry. He won't help Jess anymore. Hassan is getting ready to return to Egypt. He tries to give Rosa a goat. This is a marriage proposal custom in Egypt. Rosa is very surprised. She likes Hassan, but she doesn't want to marry him. Election night arrives. Everyone is at Crossroads Cafe. They are waiting to hear the election results. The phone rings and Catherine answers it. Jess has 18,706 votes, and Tom Johansson has 19,706 votes. Jess didn't win the election, but he didn't lose either. If you need help studying Crossroads Cafe, call us at 704-216-6600. 7247 or visit our Facebook page at English as a Second Language RCCC North Campus.